The Todd Shapiro Show, Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.
What's going on at Vanbex, Kev?
Oh, not much. Trying to set up an office here. So, actively looking to hire for 30 to 50 roles here. So, doing it big in Toronto. Just came from the EdCon conference, which is going well. It's like a developer conference here at Ryerson. They're putting it on really well. So, that's pretty much it for Toronto right now.
That's awesome. Now, when you're looking for hiring positions, like what types of positions would Vanbex be looking for?
Oh, gosh, we hire for everything from full stack developers, designers, UI, UX, marketing people, PR, senior roles. So we're looking for product managers, project managers, VPs, the whole nine here. Setting up a whole office here.
That's really exciting. And moving it from Vancouver, obviously, is that a strategic thing? Because is Toronto really growing in terms of a technological hub?
Yeah, it is strategic. So we're going to keep our office in Vancouver and continue to grow that as we can. But in order to scale and kind of meet the demand that we have right now, we gotta build out, and Toronto's an obvious choice.
The demand, and honestly, I still don't know a ton. We're working together. It's great, and that's why I'm so grateful for your time today. What is it that Vanbex does? And really maybe dumb it down for some of the Shapiro Show listeners, if you could.
So we do kind of everything end-to-end in the blockchain space. And what that means is we do from professional services, so consultancy, marketing, branding, strategy, documentation, all the way to development of smart contracts, tokens, crowd funds. And then we kind of take our clients and we incubate them and hold their hand and help them raise money on either a public offering or a token sale.
And do you get just a ton of people coming at you all the time to work with you? And I mean, I would imagine there's a fee there, but you've had so much success doing this, right?
Yeah. Well, we're the first professional services company actually in the world in blockchain, and we get about 100 applications a month. From people who want to work with us to help them incubate their companies, raise funds, and kind of build their dream on the blockchain.
What would an example of a company that would have called you up and said, Vanbex and Kevin and Lisa, we need Lisa, by the way, your partner and co-founder. We want to find out, how you guys can help us and what's a good story?
Well, funny story is you guys are probably really familiar with a company called Ethereum, which is based in Toronto.
Of course.
Lisa and I were working on a bunch of projects, and all of a sudden Vitalik Buterin, who's the founder of Ethereum, tweets out that Lisa Chang is joining the Ethereum Foundation. And Lisa comes to me and she goes, I guess we're working with Ethereum. And I'm like, when did this happen? What's going on? So, it's stories like that. Companies come to us for all types of help, no matter where they're at in their kind of business roadmap, that we can kind of help them along the way. So we've worked with many of the top companies in the space like Dash and Storage and Factom, and, the list just goes on.
And Ethereum and Bitcoin, sort of the two biggest in terms of market cap and stuff. There's really been a nice resurgence over the last 2-3 weeks, hasn't there?
Oh, yeah. There's many factors that kind of play in that one right now. I mean, we had a problem with when the market started going down, and that had to do with people selling to pay their taxes in the U.S. That was a big one. Also with companies like Telegram saying we're not going to accept cryptocurrency, so people were selling a lot of their cryptocurrency to purchase into the Telegram ICO, which just now got banned by the Russian government, and so now you're seeing a resurgence with people coming back into the market from all these sort of sales. So there's a whole bunch of stuff happening.
And Tommy, jump in here anytime, by the way. But in terms of the skeptical nature around some of this industry, and is it just because people haven't sort of figured it out, or are people sort of protecting one side without really truly understanding the other, as opposed to just fear mongering it?
Yeah, I mean, education is a big problem, and human nature is, if I don't understand it, I'm gonna knock it, right? So you have a lot of people that instead of having an open mind and understanding what's going on in the space, they'd rather just take it down to it came from the dark web, it's used to buy drugs and all this stuff. When really the technology itself is gonna enhance everything that we do online.
So what would you recommend? Because this is a field, just like hockey, I discovered. But this may be a little more complex.
Just a little closer to the mic, Tommy.
A little more, yeah. So what reading materials, if I wanted to learn, what would you recommend?
So there's lots out there. There's a great book called Mastering Bitcoin, which kind of would give you the basics. A lot of stuff, if you're online, Reddit, Bitcoin Talk, channels like that. I mean, there's some that can be, full of trolls, but there's some really good channels with a ton of information out there that you can get any day.
Kevin Hobbs is joining us from Vanbex. Last night, by the way, Kevin took me to the game one of the Raptors, a very heartbreaking loss by 1 point in overtime. And I'm going to tell you our LeBron James story in a segue. He sucked the soul out of me. And I think he used my energy to win the game, actually. When he gave me that stare down on the flex, he's so vicious, that man. And then we saw each other after last night's game. And it was a really fascinating conversation. I know a guy, he's more of a financial guy, Bay Street type of guy. Good friend of mine, by the way. Love this guy named Christian. Real good dude. And you guys had a fascinating conversation. It was just a brief one. But one of the points you brought up, which I really liked and sort of had never, ever heard before in any of this stuff, was kind of like, when did fiat currency start in terms of paper bills? And how did people adapt to that? Were people sort of afraid of this new currency coming in at the time?
Yeah, I mean, so, geez, I should probably send it over. The history of currency is kind of a weird one. Currency is really just a vehicle of information that we agree is worth something. So that could be a seashell, it could be gold, it could be silver, it could be a piece of paper. In Canada, we had beaver pelts at one point that were worth something. So that's all it really is. It's just we as human beings agree that it's worth something. So when paper currency first came in, they had in the States, you had Benjamin Franklin did his own currency. The Confederates did their own currency. All this paper that everybody was trading that was worth something somewhere, not worth something somewhere else. Then the government kind of stepped in and said, well, we're going to have paper currency, but it's going to be backed by gold, right? And then in the 1970s, we got rid of the gold backing, and now our paper currency is more fragile than a cryptocurrency because it's not backed by anything.
And I think what I didn't realize about that, which is a lot of it actually, but is that when there was like the original paper currency, there were a few paper currencies at the time, and one of them ended up sort of superseding the others, which might happen, I guess, within the crypto space. There's certain coins that might rise to the top, I would imagine, or perhaps it's just the acceptance that crypto coins will then overtake this paper currency one day. Is that like fathomable?
I think so. I mean, we deal every day. 95% of the currency we deal with is digital. You send an e-transfer, it's digital. You're just sending digital dollars from one ledger to another and having a plus on one and a minus on another. Well, that's exactly how Bitcoin works, right? You're just sending currency or digital currency from one wallet to another wallet, and we agree that it's worth something. And it can definitely happen with the crypto space. And a lot of the coins like Bitcoin have the characteristics of a currency, and if we as human beings agree that this is what we're going to accept over the US dollar or the yen or whatever, and I mean that's way out there, but it could happen.
And you say there is the community of cryptocurrency is very strong and supportive, and one that, to be honest, has embraced this program and me, and because it's something that I fully believe in. I really believe it's going down that way, and it's also just fun to dabble and explore and learn the technology and stuff. But even within that, it's so small, and it continues to grow in terms of population, in terms of what we have here on the planet. What do you know the percentages that even get in this, and then how many more newcomers come, say monthly or whatever?
Oh, geez, I don't, but that'd be an interesting stat to kind of figure out. I mean, it's exponentially grown over the last 12 months just by itself. And it continues to grow because I think people like the idea of, one, owning their own wealth, and two, being able to see what they do with it. The transparency in the currency is super important.
I love it. Tommy?
Well, now, what are the worst nightmare scenarios that you've heard or encountered with Bitcoin people? Because I once again, I have very little knowledge of this, thus my silence. But but even in the green room, people are talking. This guy got burned, and this. So, what are the drawbacks? How does that happen?
Well, you definitely have to be wary of scammers out there, but you have to do that in all aspects of everything we do. Someone sending you an email and they're in another country saying, send me this amount of money because I'm in trouble. Well, with Bitcoin, it's the same thing. You have to know who you're sending your money to and why. You also have to be really careful about how you store your money. So some of the worst horror stories in Bitcoin that I've heard is people who had Bitcoin a couple of years ago and, thousands and thousands of Bitcoin, which is worth millions and millions of dollars now, and they just forget their password or they lose their passphrase.
Oh, my God.
And then now they've got this computer that has all of this cryptocurrency on it, all this Bitcoin, and they're just like, I just don't know how to access it. Because that's the thing. It's your responsibility to hold on to the keys that control your wealth, right? It's like if you put all your money in your mattress and your house burns down,
Yeah.
you're out of luck there. So it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Those are the worst stories, and I have a few friends that have done that.
Oh my
And
God!
there's nothing that can be done, right? Nothing.
No, nothing that can be done to kind of get it back. I mean, if you lose that information, that's why you should always back it up and store it in multiple places and make sure it's safe. But that is the one thing, and that's one of the hardest things for adoption of cryptocurrency, because most people, especially like an older generation, even 50s and older, they know that they put their money in the bank, and if I lose my bank card, I just go to the bank, get another bank card. Bitcoin's a little bit more complicated.
That's a great point you make, and that's your own personal security. You got to be sort of up to speed with what's going on before you get in, and just really truly understand it. Are there like certain wallets or things you recommend, or exchanges or things? Like do you endorse other stuff here at Vanbex, or do you just like if someone wanted to get started, what as you being one of the lead blockchain technology companies on the planet, and really it's massive what they're doing at Vanbex. What's a nice starter stage that you might say to someone to look into it?
For sure. I mean, if first I would want people to go online, do a little bit of research, just read a little bit about it. And if it's for them, first thing they're going to need to do is they're going to need to set up a wallet. And we have a company here that we're partnered with called Jax and Decentral.
And that's Anthony Diorio, who and he's such a nice guy, and also done very well, obviously. But so Jax is JAXX.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So super easy wallet to use. It can walk you through the steps pretty simply, and it can hold multiple currencies. So that's another one. Another company actually here in Toronto who I've just recently got to know, we're not working with them yet, but possibly soon, is called CoinSquare. So that's an exchange where you can go and you can purchase cryptocurrency with like your Canadian dollars. So,
okay, good to know. I mean, people, and we're seeing like a lot of these being advertised now on Hockey Night in Canada and stuff. Like it's very interesting how this is really truly coming to the forefront in terms of marketing it and really trying to get everyone sort of involved in the technology. Let's be honest, how could you, Kevin Hobbs, ever foresee this going away, if at all?
I mean, the genie's out of the bottle. I don't see it going away at all. I mean, now it's a race for people to figure out how they can kind of get there first, how they're going to use this technology in their systems that are going to be obsolete soon.
And in terms of the money itself, the cryptos, like more and more businesses are accepting it. You told us last time there was a house for sale here, even in Toronto, that was accepting Bitcoin to buy it. Does that excite you in the space to see more and more people embracing it?
Oh yeah, I love it. When I walk down the street and I see a corner store that has a sticker that says "We accept Bitcoin," it's amazing.
We here at the Todd Shapiro Show are now taking Bitcoin just because we entertain you so greatly. So feel free, send us fractions, whole ones, even 10 if you have them. We have no problem. We will give you our address and our Jack's wallet later today.
That's awesome.
Actually, it would be interesting though for charity. Like we do ask for some money for we don't ask for money, but we'd love it if people were to give a little bit to help out for the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. I think that would be really interesting. Like if someone had a little fraction of a Bitcoin or Ethereum or something. Is there some of that being put into play now?
So you're gonna love this.
Okay.
So Vanbex Cares is our charity foundation that we built, and one of the things we built was a product called Hero that allows for fully transparent giving from anybody who wants to donate to a charity, and it's fully transparent, so you're giving 100% of your funds directly to this charity. So that's definitely something we can do.
I love it. Well, that's so good to know. Hero. That's all. I mean, that to me makes. That's so brilliant. It's so brilliant, and you're helping out that way, and it's transparent. Which, let's be honest, a lot of charities, and we've read a lot of bad things about a lot of charities, need, right? Because some sadly, what happened in Haiti, for example. Like, why wasn't Haiti rebuilt? There's some terrible stories about all the money that's gone places and haven't helped out for some reason. So I love to hear that you're doing that. Kev, you're a good guy.
We try.
Can we talk some Raptors now?
Do we have to talk Raptors?
Fuck.
Oh my God.
What can you do for the Raptors?
I think I might have to put on a jersey, but
Kev used to play. So Kev used to play in the day. Kev, Blau, you'll love this. He used to play with Steve Nash, Mike Bibby. Kev could go.
Yeah, I was a lot younger back then, but yeah, I used to work for the Grizzlies when they were in Vancouver. Just kind of like in the background, I practiced with them and stuff like that. Got to play with Steve Nash a bunch up at SFU a little bit, but that was a long time ago there, Todd.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Nash is retired now, so
yeah.
that's was Nash one of the best basketball players you ever saw?
Like hands down. Like you play with some guys, you know that they're good, but this guy, you couldn't take the ball from him. He could pull up just over half and just drain everything. There's a thing. You guys know what the beep test is? I don't know if you've ever done it in high school. You kind of run line to line, and it gets faster and faster as you go. I think he still holds the record in BC at like 17 and a half or something like that, which is just incredible.
Unbelievable stuff. And what's your, Tommy Lama, what's your beep test score?
Do negative numbers count?
Well, no, it's like you lower your expectations. So it's like you don't even.
If I get up out of this chair, I won.
Okay.
I won the game. That's how I live so happy.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so much easier that way.
If you're sedentary, be more sedentary. I help you improve your addictions. And I match them to your horoscope. Like what's your horoscope?
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Okay, that's a water sign, right? And if you had to say you had a bad habit, what would that be?
Oh, jeez.
That you like to give up, let's say.
I like to give up.
Or not, whatever. Or that you like to do. It doesn't matter.
Let's say poker.
You like to gamble.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you're well paired with the Aquarius. Because it's a water sign, and what better else to do on the water than riverboat gambling? If you lose, you throw yourself overboard. Come on with your sign. So that's what I teach. I know these are topics I know, but I'm gonna have to diversify my portfolio and start throwing some Bitcoin topics.
Yeah,
Start elevating this gig.
you should, man.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Maybe one day I'll stop performing at the SO.
I want you to help me. Hang on with my sign. So
What are you?
I'm a Gemini.
Gemini. That's. I sometimes confuse myself. That's either a fire or an air sign.
I don't know what it is, but I messed up.
I'm going to go in air.
Okay.
Let's just say
split personality is what they usually say.
No, but that's
okay.
You're
air.
I melt
okay.
it down to the base.
All right.
We don't get into the particulars.
Okay.
Okay. And what's your habit? What's your vice?
I probably drink a little too much.
Drink. Yeah. You see, you're not matched well. You should start thinking about inhaling glue. And switch.
That's all right.
Yeah. Then you'd be more happy. What's not working for you? The alcohol.
I'm sold.
It's not working for you. Your soul sucked.
Okay. Well, that was LeBron James' fault.
The alcohol doesn't help. You don't have a base. When's the last time you got your liver enzymes checked? See? No answer.
Okay.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, because everyone that does that on the daily.
I do it.
Yeah.
5 times.
5 times a day.
Absolutely.
Tommy Lama, what other unique sort of, I guess, medical procedures would you do on the daily to make sure you're in
prostate exams?
Yeah.
You got to ace your exams. Listen, and I practice with volunteers from Craigslist. Okay. You got to be good at it. You don't assume anything. I eat lots of fish. Because fish has mercury. How else would we be able to take our temperature?
That's how.
Did you know that you could use like fish sticks for rectal thermometers?
No, I don't think so.
Make sure they're frozen. Otherwise, they're hard to remove.
Okay, it's good advice.
Oh yeah, no, I give diet advice. I give the current. I talk about financial abundance, but not the Bitcoin because this is a newer field, and I have to get up to speed so I could put it into my act, which I will. It's not an act; it's a program.
No, I know you're helping people one by one.
Right. And I talk about real estate and
give me some real estate advice.
Yeah, like normally people flip houses. I flop them. Now people go, well, what's flopping? Flopping is when you don't own the home. And then you sell it to a foreigner. And then call Homeland Security. This is called a reverse mortgage. So I deal with that. I do talk business.
Yeah.
I just not the Bitcoin and I just been exposed for my weakness, and I can't.
That's with Kevin Hobbs here at Vanbex. See, what we do on the program is very similar to what you do. Is we try to elevate people.
Yeah.
So now we brought something new into your world.
Yes, you
which
did.
is, to be honest, why I love bringing new stuff into everyone's world who listens. And now, just the only thing we ask for is, I get a commission on everything moving forward. What you do.
Right. Well, Bitcoin. I'm going to give a whole seminar, a spiel on Bitcoin.
The spiel on
the
Can you invite him? What's your next talk? Where are you going to be?
I'll be in Vancouver at BC Tech. You should definitely come out because if you want to flop some houses for Bitcoin, there's some Asian foreigners who love that.
We got you your next gig.
Yeah.
See that?
I do Tom Talks because Ted won't take me.
Tom talks.
Tommy Talks.
Actually, we had another comedian on, was it yesterday, who he couldn't get a special on Netflix. Glenn Foster a couple days ago, so he started his own website called Notflix because he couldn't get and he does. He has mynotflix.com or something.
That's funny.
So he couldn't.
He didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me that. I work during this 6 week expedition. I've worked with him.
Okay.
In Ottawa. I know him for years.
Oh, good.
But yeah.
You vets. You guys are beauties.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Kev, what's going on? Where are you going?
Not much. We're going out a little bit later. I'm still disappointed that they didn't keep Serge and Valanciunas in the third quarter. That kind of bothered me.
What?
I have no idea why they didn't do that.
That was, that loss last night, like, it almost just didn't make sense. The Raptors are too good to lose, and I know how good LeBron is, but the Cavs aren't that good. And did they just lose, like, you being a former athlete and stuff and understanding it far greater than I in terms of competition, when you lose a heartbreaking loss in game one like they did by one, and they should have won it and then went OT, does that like, it shouldn't carry through to the next game, but does it?
Sometimes it can kind of suck the life out of you a little bit. And LeBron being who he is, he kind of intimidates. But last night, to me, I thought it was just like mismanaged strategy. Like we were up 10, doing well. We had our bigs in. We were pushing out because we're way bigger than Cleveland. And then all of a sudden, third quarter came, and the bigs were nowhere to see. And then all of a sudden, layup after layup after layup after layup. And then LeBron getting these fadeaways, but he's fading away from so close because we don't have the guys to push him out. And then they just got so much momentum, we just couldn't come back.
Yeah, I don't know what Coach Casey was thinking.
I don't know.
Well, what do you think he was thinking? Get, like, run and gun more smaller guys, they'll outrun them, they'll better energy? I don't know. Was that his plan?
I don't know. I think he was too busy just yelling at the referees and complaining about calls.
He should be fired. Are you going to go to more games if they come back here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to games.
You're gonna go to games.
I love going to the games. Todd, I have to tell you, I'm putting in a big bid for some nice seats that we'll have to go to as soon as I can get them.
I would, if you ever do, yeah, of course. I got to ask. It's kind of cool. Like, I'm bigging you up here, but it is neat. Listen, it's everyone's dream to sit courtside. It's a really neat experience, a basketball game. Kevin brought me to game one, and I'm so grateful for it. We had sort of seats looking right, sort of like just sort of towards the basket on one of the sides, and then last night you were actually just under the basket. Did you get a different perspective, and would you have preferred one over the other?
Definitely different perspective. Personally, I prefer the seats we sat in better, only because you got the camera guys like sitting right in front of you a lot of the time, so they stand up. But definitely get more TV time under the hoop. Lots of foul shots.
Did you get? Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Did you get some Vanbex? Did you wear the Vanbex jersey?
Of course.
I saw you last night. I didn't even notice, but yeah.
Had to wear the Vanbex hat, Vanbex shirt.
See, that's what I love about this beauty. Honest to God. And this is a great, and we've just getting to know each other over the last sort of month and stuff. But, you get to know people and you connect with people in a certain way, and I believe this because it's about a work ethic thing. Whether it's comedy or whether it's business and stuff. And people who also aren't afraid to always promote. No matter what level you're at or whatever industry you're in, it's okay. Feel proud of what you do. Feel proud of who you stand for, which is your company typically, or your act or whatever. And just go and do it. Don't worry. This whole world is worry. I'm being very motivational without funny.
No, actually, you're motivating me.
Listen, I put my logo on my Jeep, right? Like, why not? Every extra listener counts, every extra download counts. And here's a guy. Sit in front row, and you're wearing your gear, promoting your. I love that because you don't necessarily need to do that to be on, but you do. I love that. I'm being very serious, man.
Hey, I'm proud about our gear, our logo, what we do. You know what I mean? And more people need to know about it. So that's kind of why I do it.
Awesome. Well, that's our goal too. Vanbex.com, and if you ever want to get in touch with them, just there's contact information on the website, and as well you can follow Kevin. Are you K Vanbeck?
Vanbex K.
Vanbex K. Okay.
On Twitter.
Why did I felt like I did that, but it didn't register once for some reason. Vanbex K, and then it's just Vanbeck Group at Vanbex Group.
Yep.
And awesome. It's great hanging out with you, man.
The Todd Shapiro Show, Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.